Okay, let's just admit it. For most of us, the whole idea of selling feels, well, a little icky, right? Whether you're doing the selling or you're the one being sold to, it can feel pushy, kind of impersonal, and just wrong. But what if we've been thinking about it all backwards? What if selling isn't about pushing at all? What if it's really about helping? Let's dive in and see if we can totally reframe how we look at sales.
Man, this quote from author Steve Wood just hits the nail on the head, doesn't it? It perfectly captures that feeling we've all had. You know the one, when someone just launches into their pitch without having any clue who we are or what we actually care about. It's a transaction with zero connection, and it's exactly why so much of selling feels completely broken.
So here's the key takeaway right up front. If selling feels wrong to you, it doesn't mean you're bad at it. It probably just means the traditional approach is completely flawed. The real problem isn't a lack of skill, it's a deep misunderstanding of what the whole conversation should even be about in the first place.
The author shares this classic story that just perfectly illustrates the mistake. So he's at a networking event, right? Some guy walks up, shoves a business card in his hand, and then just launches into this endless monologue about himself and how great his company is. Never asks a single question. He has no idea what the author does, what he might need, nothing. And of course, the very next day, an email pops up. Wonderful meeting you. Here's my offer. It's just a total waste of everybody's time because it's based on absolutely zero understanding.
So, if that's the problem, what on earth is the fix? Well, it's actually a really simple but incredibly powerful shift in your mindset. You stop focusing on your product or your service, and you focus entirely on the customer's world. The goal isn't to push what you have, it's to find a way to genuinely add value. And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it? We throw that word value around all the time, but what does it really actually mean, especially in business? How do we define it? And maybe more importantly, how do we create it for someone? Turns out, you can break value down into a pretty simple equation. It's the benefits a customer gets divided by their total outlay. Now, outlay is the key word here. It's not just about the price tag. It's also their time, their effort, even their stress. So if you want to create more value, you either have to crank up the benefits or find a way to lower that total outlay. And this little chart here shows you what that value looks like in the real world. You see, customers expect stuff like basic quality and standard service to be included in the price. But what are they often willing to pay extra for? Things like real expertise, certainty that it's going to work, a VIP experience. These are the things that solve the deeper problems, and that's where the real value is hiding. And here's the really good news. Creating all this value isn't some mysterious, chaotic art form. It's actually a structured, learnable process. And when you think about it that way, selling suddenly becomes way less intimidating. It's more like having a clear roadmap that you can just follow. So the process moves pretty logically through 4 stages. First up is research and qualify. This is all about listening and understanding. Step 2 is quantify. This is where you actually build an offer that fits their specific problem. Then you negotiate to agree on the terms. And finally, you document. Get all the paperwork signed. It's a clean, simple flow from hello to a done deal. Okay, if there is one master key to this entire process, this is it. Pay attention. The single most critical skill you can have is not talking, not pitching, not presenting. It is the ability to ask the right questions to really, truly understand what's going on in your customer's world. And hey, here's a fantastic tool to help you do just that. It's called the Power Framework, and it guides your entire conversation. You ask about their pain, the opportunity that fixing it would create, their personal and business wants, the expected result they're hoping for, and finally, the risk of just doing nothing. This isn't some cheesy interrogation tactic. It's just a structured way to discover what actually matters to them. All right, let's pull all of these pieces together now into the grand strategy. I want you to picture yourself as a guide. You're helping a customer cross what the author calls the valley of value. See, they're stuck on one side with a problem, and your job is to help them get all the way to the other side where the solution is waiting. Now, the first half of this journey is all about their side of the valley. You stop, you listen, you gather info. Then you restate their issue just to make sure you've got it right. Then, and this is huge, you help them quantify the pain in real numbers. Like, what is this problem actually costing them in dollars and cents? And then you amplify it a bit by asking, so what happens if this doesn't get fixed? Notice we haven't even whispered a word about our solution yet. It's only after you've deeply, truly understood their pain that you even start building the bridge to the other side. You suggest a few possible solutions, not just one. You prove your solution will work using real evidence, you show the value it creates, and you directly tie it back to that pain you uncovered earlier. And then,
Well, asking for the order just becomes the most natural, logical next step in the conversation.
And this is where the magic really happens. When the customer hits you with the classic, "Can you do it for 20% less?" your old self might start to panic, but the value-based reply is so calm, so logical. Of course, which parts of the solution would you like to leave out? This is brilliant. It completely reframes the conversation from being about price to being about value, and you protect your worth without ever being confrontational.
If you take only one thing away from all of this, let it be this simple quote famously used by Zig Ziglar. It's the entire philosophy in just 4 words. Stop selling, start helping. Shift your whole focus from making a sale to making a difference for your customer. Because when you genuinely help, the sale just becomes the natural, easy outcome.
And, the best part about all of this is that it isn't just some big abstract theory. Every single conversation you have is a chance to put this into practice. It's not about suddenly becoming a salesperson overnight. It's just about deciding to be a little more helpful, starting right now. So, the only question left is, who are you going to help first?